So, what I wanted to get to next with the Jets is the defensive line. There was a lot of talk about which guys would make this defensive line, and they had three undrafted free agents in Eric Watts, Brandon McGregor, and Leonard Taylor, and all three end up making it. So, 10 for now, 11 technically, if you include Hassan Reddick in it. I was pleasantly surprised that they were able to keep all three of those guys. I will say though, I think when Hassan Reddick reports, my guess would be that Eric Watts is the odd man out. But I thought it was a really cool story to see, a team that one has high expectations, but two also was able to find a way to find three guys who are good enough to roster as undrafted free agents on this team. Specifically, Leonard Taylor and Braden McGregor, I thought really showed out in the preseason and training camp.
I mean, let me just say from a Giants fan's perspective, this makes me upset. Like, this is so annoying that there's so much depth in the Jets defensive line. Like, we're talking Jermaine Johnson, then Will McDonald, then Takk McKinley, and you still have to hold on to Eric Watts because he's decent enough. Like, that's crazy that you guys have that many edge rushers / defensive ends that you can rely on. Also, Hassan Reddick when he comes back, if he does, and then Michael Clemens, and even Braden McGregor showed a lot this summer. There's just a lot of talent there on the defensive end. And then, like you said, Leonard Taylor, who is a guy that I was really hoping and praying would shake free somehow so that the Giants could add him to the back end of their roster. I thought that he could have contributed special or a pretty decent amount of playing time for the Giants this year if they were to have found a way to get him. But I think he's going to be a solid quality developmental player for the Jets. And I really just love what they have in their front four. I mean, they have so much depth at those positions and they have so much talent at the top of those position groups. It's really, really special looking at this team on paper and realizing like how deep it runs. I mean, again, Jermaine Johnson, then Will McDonald, then Takk McKinley. Takk McKinley would play significant snaps on this New York Giants team in my eyes. And he's third string at one of these two defensive end positions for the Jets. So again, a lot of really nice talent there in the defensive front for the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, McKinley has been a great story in training camp. If Hassan Reddick doesn't play in week one, which I think it's trending towards that, we'll see. Obviously, a lot more time to discuss before that first game against the San Francisco 49ers. I think McKinley would get a lot of run in that game. But also for Leonard Taylor, looking at this interior defensive line for the Jets. Obviously, Quinnen is here long term. He's one of the best, interior guys in the league. Happy about that. But both Solomon Thomas and Javon Kinlaw are on 1-year deals. I think if the Jets can show, or if Leonard Taylor rather can show signs of development this year and kind of get better as the year goes on, I don't think it's outlandish to say that Leonard Taylor might end up being a cheap option for them on the interior next to Quinnen Williams a year from now. Maybe you don't have to spend another, I don't know, if Kinlaw has a good year, maybe he has to make closer to $10 million than the 7 he's getting now. And Solomon Thomas is pretty much the definition of a jag at this point in his career, unfortunately. So I'm high on Leonard Taylor. I think there's a chance that he could be a starter for this team down the line.
I totally agree with you. I'm high on him as well. Again, this is a player who, and Leonard Taylor, who at one point was considered a top 100 player in this draft class. For one reason or another, he didn't have that breakout season at Miami that people expected of him. Goes undrafted, probably shouldn't have gone undrafted. But again, this is a player that maybe had top 100 talent in the draft class that fell out of the draft. So you know that you're getting somebody who has potential. It's a really good pickup from the New York Jets. And it ties into a point that we've repeated throughout the summer, Matt, just kind of discussing how good teams find talent at positions that they're already good at so that when they have to pay those players and don't want to pay them anymore, they got somebody who's younger, who's ready to step into that role and maybe be even better. And that's what Leonard Taylor could be. The succession plan here for Javon Kinlaw can maybe just take another year to grow and develop, prove that he still has some of that top 100 talent that he flashed a couple seasons ago at Miami, and maybe become a pretty decent starter. So I really do like this move for the Jets and think that Leonard Taylor, I'm in the same boat as you. He could end up being a long-term starter on this team if things go right.